Welcoming you to the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. Here as we're seeing some warm-ups a little bit for the Denver Nuggets, but we're back here with another exciting edition of my NBA 2K project, the 2025-2026 NBA season playthrough. We have a matchup between the Denver Nuggets at the Memphis Grizzlies. I am Vinny from VW Productions, and I'd like to welcome you guys to another edition of my 2025-2026 season playthrough. For those who don't know, I play one game for every few days of the calendar. This time it's 3 days between games as we look at the starting lineups. For the Nuggets, we have Murray, Hardaway Jr., Watson. We have Peyton Watson. We have Nikola Jokic. As Christian Braun, I know, is out for the Nuggets for 1 to 2 weeks. And then for the Grizzlies, we got Morant, KCP, Aldama, Jaren Jackson Jr., and Brandon Clark, as we have the Grizzlies winning the tip. Morant with it. The Grizzlies coming into this game, the home team, they are, as you see, Morant puts the Grizzlies up by 2 early on. They are 19-24. They are in 4th in the Southwest Division and in 11th place in the Western Conference. As you see, Aaron Gordon back over to Murray. 8 on the shot clock. Back over to Gordon, to Hardaway Jr. 2 on the shot clock. Hardaway Jr. gets a shot up, no good. Jaren Jackson Jr. will get the rebound as KCP with it for the Grizz. As I said, those who are not familiar or new to this channel, you're watching this. This is the 2025-2026 season playthrough where I play through the season. I do one game for the first 2 schedule blocks. And I'll explain to this a little bit different when we actually have like a break in the action. I'll explain to you a little bit more how this works out. But I do go through the 2025-2026 NBA season. You see Jamal Murray for 3. That's off the iron. Brandon Clark will get the rebound. Ja Morant back over to Brandon Clark, dishing it over to KCP now, has it. Dishing back over to Aldama. Aldama for 3. That is off the iron. Brandon Clark will get the offensive rebound. Jaren Jackson Jr. will shoot it, but Clark will get the offensive rebound. I don't know why Clark decided not to shoot it right there. He could have had the bucket there, but that is NBA 2K logic there. Watson with it. I'll go over to Nikola Jokic. That's a layup. That's no good. Morant with it for the Grizzlies. Approaching 2 minutes into the game. It is 2-0, and Clark finally takes an easy shot there. And that's what happens. You get the bucket when you take the risk of taking that shot. There's a reward instead of just passing it up just for a 3-point. You see Aaron Gordon. Back over to Jokic. 8 on 9 on the shot clock. 9:36 to play, and there's a steal by Brandon Clark after Jokic loses it. Jokic had 31 points, 7 assists, and 8 rebounds in a loss in their last game against the Milwaukee Bucks. Aldama for 3. He drains it. The Grizzlies, as I mentioned, the Nuggets, as we have a timeout called here. Just a little under 3 minutes into the first quarter. 7-0 Grizzlies on top. We're going to take a timeout. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. And we are back here as we can see Memphis at 19-24. They are 1 full game back of the Phoenix Suns right now for that 10th spot, which would be good enough to be in the play-in tournament. But for those who are unfamiliar with this, the 2025-2026 season playthrough, as I mentioned earlier, we play through the entire season, but we do one game for every, how many days, I think. The first 2 schedule blocks, which were random games, where every team was guaranteed to be shown at least once. I see Hardaway Jr. with it. I did every 2 to 3 days. I think I did maybe once, maybe depending, because I did not do the NBA Cup, so yeah, maybe every 4 calendar days every now and then. Oh, and there's this alley-oop opportunity there with Jamal Murray controlling it for the Nuggets. As Tim Hardaway Jr. with the layup is good. Nuggets on the board. So 3.5 minutes into the game. As you see Morant coming around, he's going to pass it up. He could have had a layup opportunity. Jaren Jackson Jr. misses a 3. That is a problem. I mean, I do complain about the 2K logic, but at the same time, I definitely know that it is realistic that the NBA the last how many years has been more known for just wanting to shoot those fancy threes, as Aaron Gordon drains that one. And the Nuggets have scored 5 points coming out of that timeout. But getting back to it, where I think I mentioned like around, because I didn't do the NBA Cup, is Jaren Jackson Jr. for 3. He drains it. Jamal Murray with it, 15 on the shot clock. Murray, that might be a three-point attempt. That's no good. Aldama with the rebound. Or Aldama. KCP back over to Aldama. Dishing it over. That is Morant for 3. He drains it. It's an 8-point game. And look at Ja Morant right now. Look at his home stats. 26.1 points per game here at the FedEx Forum. 7.7 assists per game here at the FedEx Forum. You see Tim Hardaway Jr. The Murray for 3. Off the iron. Jokic coming around. He puts it in. At least Jokic was smart enough to actually take the shot this time, instead of just passing it and wasting a possession. Morant coming around with the dunk. Ja Morant averaging 26.9 points per game. So he's actually consistent with the season average as he is for his average here at the FedEx Forum. Gordon coming around. Rejected, denied. That was Jaren Jackson Jr., I believe, with the block. And we have a timeout called for the Nuggets. 6:16 to play in the first. We'll take one. You're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. And we are back here in Memphis. We look at the league leaders right now, the Grizzlies, for fast break points overall this season, 16.8. That's good enough for 4th in the league. But as I mentioned, though, the first couple schedule blocks, yeah, there were some gaps. I usually do it every other day, but then there were some where I had to do it for 3 days. See Hardaway Jr. for 3. He drains that one as we are approaching halfway through the first quarter. But here in schedule block number 3, they are random games, but not every team is going to be guaranteed to be shown. I see Jaren Jackson Jr. taking that shot. That's good. And the Grizzlies are on top by 7. They led by as many as 8. Just a moment ago, coming out of that timeout. Jamal Murray with it, being guarded by Ja Morant. Dishing it over to Jokic. Jokic to Watson. Watson for 3. Off the iron. Aldama will grab the rebound. Back over to KCP. Dishing it over to Morant. 13 on the shot clock. Morant trying to get an open shot. He'll take an open 3 there. That is off the iron. Tipped. And Hardaway Jr. grabbing the rebound here. 5:10 to play in the first. 17-10. Grizzlies on top. Murray for 3. Off the iron. Aldama with the rebound. 5 minutes of play here in the opening quarter. Game coming to you from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. The Grizzlies on top by 7. Morant for 3. That is off the iron. Peyton Watson grabbing the rebound. Watson over to Murray. Murray with the transitional 3. Misses it, but Aaron Gordon with the dunk. Off the offensive rebound. Jaren Jackson Jr. There is the hook shot there. That is good, and the Grizzlies on top by 7. Ja Morant in the win against the New Orleans Pelicans had 19 points in that game. Tim Hardaway Jr. There's a 3-point attempt. That is off the iron. Morant will grab the rebound. Back over to Jaren Jackson Jr. over to KCP. Morant. Jumper. That is up. No good. Jokic with the rebound. The Nuggets trailing by 7. See Jamal Murray. Dishing it over to Jokic. Jokic, the big man for 3. No good. Jamal Murray will get the offensive rebound. Aaron Gordon thought about the 3, but he passes it up. Jamal Murray. That's a 3-point shot. That is no good. Aldama with the rebound. The Grizz going the other way. There's Morant for 3. That is off the iron. Gordon will get the rebound with the Nuggets crossing the half-court line. Watson's going to come around with the dunk. Ja Morant has it for the Grizzlies, and they will call a timeout. 3:01 to play in the first. You are watching NBA 2K on V-Dub Productions. We're going to take a timeout. All right, we are back here in Denver. We got some substitutions that are about to be made here. We look at Nikola Jokic, 29.8 points on average this season he scored, but he's only scored 26 plus in the last few games. Zach Edey, I believe, is now into the game for the Grizzlies. Ty Jerome over to Scottie Pippen Jr. So there's some big substitutions. We're going to get some starters some rest before the end of the quarter. And there, Edey will get his first points of the game coming off the bench. The former first-round pick from Purdue. Pickett into the game now for the Nuggets. So the Nuggets are, is he Pickett for three? He drains it. So the Nuggets are 31-15. They're in a tie for, basically in a virtual tie for second place, but I think right now the Timberwolves own the tiebreaker because they are going into this game in third place in the Northwest Division and in third in the Western Conference. See Ty Jerome. That shot is up. That is no good. Jaren Valanciunas will get the rebound. Strother now has it for the Grizzlies, dishing it over to Pickett, who hit the three-pointer earlier for the Nuggets. 12 on the shot clock. Dishing it back over to JV, being guarded by Zach Edey. Edey's not making it easy for him. Dishes it over, and that's going to go out of bounds, and the Nuggets will retain possession with a second and a half left on the shot clock. See Cameron Johnson there off the bench. He averaging 13.6 points per game. 2.7 assists and 2.8 rebounds as we got more substitutions coming in. Pickett's heading to the bench. Jamal Murray coming back into the game, and for the Grizzlies, Jaren Jackson Jr. back in. That's going to be a shot clock violation. He did not get it off in time. Look at that. Jaren Jackson Jr. with the rejection over on Aaron Gordon just earlier in this quarter. Edey will inbound it to Scottie Pippen Jr. Zach Edey here, a minute and a half to play here in the first. Scottie Pippen Jr. Pippen Jr. jump shot, no good. Valanciunas with the rebound. Jamal Murray coming around. Murray with the layup. That is in. Those are his first 2 points of the night. He's 1 of 7 shooting here in the first quarter. Ty Jerome. 13 on the shot clock. Feeding it over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Jr. with the bucket. And the Grizz are on top by 4 again here. Under a minute to play in the first. 23-19. Monsters Inc. score right now. Johnson. That is off the iron. Zach Edey will grab the rebound. Over to Scottie Pippen Jr. There we go for Ty Jerome. Back over to Pippen. Over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. That is no good. Johnson will grab the rebound. Over to Strother. Jamal Murray with it. 10 on the shot clock. Did you have to get a shot off before the end of the first quarter? And there's a three-point attempt. That was no good, but Valanciunas will get the offensive rebound and the bucket. 1.1 to play. And that will do it for the first quarter. It's been all Grizzlies. They led by as many as 8, but the Nuggets have it to within 2 when we start the second quarter. We'll be back. You're watching NBA 2K on V-Dub Productions. Getting ready to start the second quarter. See Johnson inbounding it over to Bruce Brown. I believe he's making his first appearance into the game. Valanciunas still in the game for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray. That is no good. Scottie Pippen Jr. with the rebound. So you got a mixture of mostly backups into the game right now. You see Jerome, Pippen Jr., Edie, Wells, and Jaren Jackson Jr., the only starter out on the floor for the Grizzlies as he makes that shot. And he puts the Grizz up by 4 again. Christian Johnson. Dishes over to Valanciunas. Valanciunas for 3. That is off the back iron. Scottie Pippen Jr. with the rebound. Got Jalen Wells over to Scottie Pippen Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. coming around. There's a layup. That is good. The lead is extended to 6 again. The Grizz led by as many as 8. Valanciunas deep inside. No good. Wells with the rebound. See Pippen Jr. 14 on the shot clock. Finding over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Jackson coming around with a slam dunk, and the lead is back up to 8. Jackson Jr. had 13 points and 7 rebounds in their win against the Pelicans in their last game. You see Murray with a jump shot. That is no good. Jackson Jr. with the rebound. We are 2 minutes into the second quarter here, coming to you from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. See Strother will get the steal. Jamal Murray has been cold. Ice cold in this game. He is still ice cold. He is now 1 for 10 shooting. Look at rebounds a game. Grizzlies are 15th as you see Scottie Pippen Jr. with the bucket. And the Grizzlies are now on top by 10. Timeout, Denver. 9.5 to play until halftime. We're going to take a timeout as well. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. We are back here in Memphis. Here we got the three-point contest race. You see Heald, Curry, and then you got SGA, Corey Kispert, to name a few others. The Nuggets getting ready to inbound it. Trailing by 10, the largest lead by the Grizzlies. As you see, Johnson has it for the Grizzlies. Back over to Jamal Murray. Murray, that is good. He needed that bucket. As I said, he's been ice cold. He has 4 points in this game. And he cuts the deficit to single digits again. Scottie Pippen Jr. finding Jalen Wells. Finding Jaren Jackson Jr. Jackson Jr. He misses that one. Johnson with the rebound. Murray back over to Brown. Back to Murray. Jamal Murray, as I said, Scott needs to start heating up if this Nuggets team wants to get back into this game. Brown for 3. That is off. Jackson Jr. will get the rebound. You see Jalen Wells. Back over to Pippen Jr. To Jalen Wells. Scottie Pippen Jr. dishing it over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Back to Wells. Ty Jerome with it now. 6 on the shot clock, being guarded by Jamal Murray. Jerome's going to get a little open shot. That is off the iron. Valanciunas will grab the rebound. There's Bruce Brown again. Brown dishing it back over to Johnson. 10 on the shot clock. Johnson for 3. Off the iron. Edie with the rebound as you get Wells with it. Pass it over to Scottie Pippen Jr. Pippen Jr. coming around with the layup. That is good. Scottie Pippen Jr. and the Grizzlies up by 10 again. Jamal Murray finding over to Valanciunas, and Valanciunas will have the slam dunk. Jamal Murray with a nice assist there. Timeout, Grizzlies. 7:25 to play in the second quarter. We are watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. We are back here in Memphis. It's an 8-point lead for the Grizzlies. The Nuggets in three-point percentage, they are actually the leaders in three-point shooting beyond the arc right now, 39.7. If you're enjoying what you're seeing right now, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And also, when this game is over with, we are not done yet, as we have stats, post-game ticker, injury report, and news and notes. And we will have some news and notes, I can promise you right now, as Jaren Jackson Jr. misses that one. Jokic has it. Jamal Murray. Passing back over to Brown here. The Grizzlies have not trailed in this game. Gordon passes up the shot, and that's going to go out of bounds here. And let me tell you, the coach is not happy there. We look at the Grizzlies' upcoming schedule. At Houston, then home to the Hornets, at the Pelicans, and then a big home game against the Timberwolves. As we got substitutions coming in for the Nuggets, Brown and Johnson going to the bench for the Nuggets, and Aldama is back into the game now for the Grizzlies. Jaren Jackson Jr. is coming around. He's going to have his way there over Aaron Gordon. That's 17 points already for Jaren Jackson Jr., 10 of them inside the paint. Jamal Murray dishing it over to Jokic. Jokic with the layup. He's going to get the offensive rebound as well off the miss, and he will get the slam dunk, and the deficit's within 8 again. Aldama with it for the Grizz. As I'm back over to Jaren Jackson Jr., 10 on the shot clock. Morant for 3. He nails it! And the lead is 11 for the Grizzlies, their largest of the game. Over halfway through the second quarter now. Murray, jumper. No good, but there's a loose ball foul called against Nikola Jokic. Will not be a team foul, but that is his first personal here. Edey going to the bench, and Brandon Clark coming back into the game for the Grizzlies. Ty Jerome still out there for the Grizzlies. It looks like it's mostly the starters again. Ty Jerome had 11 points in the win against the Pelicans. 8 on the shot clock. Jerome for 3. That is off the iron. Jokic grabbing the rebound for the Nuggets. See Jamal Murray. Dishing it back over to Aaron Gordon. Dishing it back to Watson. 10 on the shot clock. Gordon for 3. He nails it. Deficit back to within 8. Ty Jerome back over to Jaren Jackson Jr. He misses that one. Jokic will grab the rebound. Tim Hardaway Jr. And there is a 3-second violation called against the Nuggets, and ball is going to go back to Memphis here. We're looking at his season stats there. He has 7.6 assists per game, 26.9 points per game. We got substitutions for Denver. Jamal Murray going to the bench for Bruce Brown. And for the Grizzlies, let's see here, KCP back into the game. As Ty Jerome takes a seat, and Aldama is going to be moved to the power forward position. See Watson over to Jokic. Dishing it over to Hardaway Jr. for 3. He nails it! Then the Nuggets within 5. 4.5 to play until halftime. Morant failed alley-oop attempt as Jokic gets the steal there. There's Hardaway Jr. in transition for 3. He nails it! Back-to-back threes for Tim Hardaway Jr. It's now a 2-point game. Clark. Dish it back over to Ty Jerome. KCP for 3. That is off. Gordon will have it. Dishing it over to Jokic. Back over to Bruce Brown. Brown over to Hardaway Jr. Hardaway Jr. for 3. That is off the iron, but Jokic with the offensive rebound puts it up. We have a tie game. And a timeout by Memphis. We're going to take one as well. 3:43 to play in the second. You're watching NBA 2K on Vita Productions. Back, everybody, to Memphis here. We are tied at 38. And the Grizzlies led by as many as 11, but the Nuggets have come back to tie. I believe this is actually an 11-0 run, if I'm not mistaken. You see Jerome with it, running over to Brandon Clark here. Ja Morant running to KCP. KCP for three. That is off the iron. Jokic with the rebound. Bruce Brown has a chance for the Nuggets to take the lead for the first time in this game. Brown for three, and he does exactly that. Bruce Brown puts the Nuggets on top for the first time. 41-38. I believe that's a 14-0 run if my records are correct. Clark coming around. Almost lost it for a second, but Ty Jerome kept control of it. 4 on the shot clock. KCP. There's a three-point attempt for Aldama. No good. Hardaway Jr. grabbing the rebound. Nuggets out rebounding the Grizzlies 24-19. Jokic. Back over to Gordon. Gordon for three. He nails it. 17 unanswered points. And it's a 44-38 lead for the Nuggets. See Ty Jerome finding Ja Morant. Morant coming through, and that will end the drought there. Bruce Brown with it crossing the half-court line. As we now have 2 minutes of play until halftime. Hardaway Jr. back over to Brown. You see Aaron Gordon for three. That is off the iron. KCP with the rebound. Ty Jerome with it. 1:33 to play. And there's a dunk by Brandon Clark. 2-point game again. Bruce Brown, I should say. Peyton Watson passes it back over to Bruce Brown here. 10 on the shot clock. And that's a violation. That's out of bounds. And the ball is going to the Grizzlies. Johnson is back into the game for the Nuggets. As we are now approaching 1 minute to play in the second quarter. The KCP to Morant for three. Off the iron, Jokic with the rebound. Brandon Clark only had 8 points and 4 rebounds in the win against the Pelicans. Watson has it for the Nugs. 10 on the shot clock, 36 to play until halftime. Hardaway Jr. for three. That is in! Tim Hardaway Jr. has caught fire here in the second quarter. That's his third three-pointer of this quarter, and it's a 5-point lead for the Nuggets. He's it over to Ja. Morant. That is in. Wow, that actually went in. Ja Morant, 14 points, 6 of 12 shooting. He's turned the ball over 3 times. Shot clock is turned off. Jokic. Wow, what a shot there. 2.9 to play, 5-point lead. Morant, he's going to get the desperation three up. That is off the rim. And we head to halftime. The Grizzlies were up by as many as 11 points, but you see the Nuggets had a big, strong last 4 minutes of this half. They're going to come into halftime with a 5-point lead. As we're about to send it to the halftime report, you're watching NBA 2K on VW Productions. We'll see you in the second half. Back here at the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. The Nuggets with the 5-point lead as we're getting ready to start the second half. We look at Jaren Jackson Jr. leading all scorers right now with 17 points for the Grizzlies. And I tell you, he's been a big part of this game. I mean, the Grizzlies were up by as many as 11, but the Nuggets, as I said, caught fire towards the end of the first half. They now have a 5-point lead. They led by as many as 6. That was part of I believe, a 17-0 run. Starters out for both teams. As you see, Murray, Hardaway Jr., Jokic, Watson, Gordon. That is no good. For the three-pointer, so the Grizzlies will have it. As you see, KCP, Morant, Clark, Jackson Jr., and there's a foul right there. Nikola Jokic with the foul. That's his second personal foul there. Yeah, that's it. And Aldama. So starting lineups for both teams are out there. Jackson Jr. going to go to the line shooting 2. Again, if you're enjoying what you're seeing right now, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. Hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do come out. As you see, Jaren Jackson Jr. will hit the first one. He now has 18. I'm gonna let you guys know this is the last. This is the last NBA 2K game we'll be seeing for the week, as I'll be back to college football 26 content again exclusively for my 28-team college football playoff. I'll leave the playlist towards the end of the video, so you can watch that. But then also go on my community tab and you can see the second round games for my 2018 playoff, the schedule, when they are coming out, starting on Monday. Aaron Gordon for 3. That is off the iron. Morant will grab the rebound. As we're a minute into the third quarter here. 49-46, Nuggets on top. Jackson Jr., he's now at 21. And the Grizzlies within 1. I said they led by as many as 11 before a 17-0 run is what catapulted the Nuggets to have a lead going into halftime. That is off the iron. Morant with the rebound. A chance for the Grizzlies to go back on top again. Aaron Gordon with 11 points and 4 rebounds so far in this game. Clark has it over to Morant. Morant, this should over to Clark. Clark with the layup. That is good, and the Grizzlies are on top by 1 again. Hardaway Jr. for 3. That is off the iron. Aldama with the rebound. Tim Hardaway Jr. 14 points. You see KCP for 3. That is off the iron, and Hardaway Jr. will grab the rebound there. Hardaway Jr. caught fire during that run. That, as I said, catapulted the Nuggets to have a lead going into halftime. Jokic, he only has 8 points in this game. Hardaway Jr., he misses that one. Morant will grab that one. Back over to Aldama. Aldama for 3. Off the iron. Murray with the rebound. And that's a miss right there. Jaren Jackson Jr. will get the steal. KCP with it. Pass it back over to Clark. Clark, that is no good. And there's a shot up. That is no good. Clark will grab the rebound. There's Clark. Clark with the dunk. And a timeout called by the Nuggets. An 8-0 run by the Grizzlies to start off the second half. 8:55 to play in the third. You're watching NBA 2K on VDub Productions. We are taking a timeout. All right, an 8-0 run to start the second half for the Grizzlies here. We look at the last 10 games at the field goal percentages amongst point guards. You see John Morant tops in the league. But as I said, an 8-0 run by the Grizzlies to start the second half. They are now up by 3 again. As I said, their largest lead was 11. See Hardaway Jr. dishing it over to Aaron Gordon. Back over to Jokic. 5 on the shot clock. Jokic. There's a three-point attempt. That is no good. Aldama with a rebound. Oh, he almost lost it for a second. Morant coming around. Morant rejected. Watson will control it for the Nuggets. I believe that was Tim Hardaway Jr. with the block there. This is over to Gordon, back over to Jokic. Jokic, back to Hardaway Jr. for three. That will end the drought there. The first points for the Nuggets in the second half, and we are tied at 52. Hardaway Jr. with 17 points now for the Nuggets. I believe that might have been his fourth three of the game. Brandon Clark, and back over to John Morant. Three on the shot clock. Morant coming around. Layup is good, and the Grizzlies are on top by two again. 16 points for John Morant. Back over to Watson to Murray to Gordon. Gordon dishing it back over to Jokic. Jokic back to Watson. Watson to Hardaway Jr. Hardaway Jr. for three. Off the iron. Jokic with the rebound and the offensive dunk there. And we are tied at 54 again. Here you go, Jaren Jackson Jr. And there's a bucket there. Jaren Jackson Jr. with 23 in this game, and the Grizzlies on top by two. And he almost lost it for a second. You see Murray with it. Dishing it over to Aaron Gordon. Back to Murray. Murray for three. No good. KCP grabbing a rebound for the Grizzlies here. You see Aldama dishing it over to Morant. Morant with the layup. That is good. It's a 4-point lead again for the Grizzlies. 18 points for John Morant in 23 minutes. As we're approaching the halfway point of the third quarter, 58-54, Grizzlies on top. A little bit of a back and forth game for a while. Didn't think that would happen as the Grizzlies dominated most of that first half before the Nuggets went on a little 17-0 run. Watson for three. No good. Clark will grab the rebound. KCP now coming around. KCP loses it. Watson will get a steal for the Nuggets. Murray with it, finding over to Tim Hardaway Jr. Hardaway Jr. from three. That is off the iron, but look at that tip in by Nikola Jokic. Back to only a 2-point game again. Morant for three. He nails it, and the Grizzlies extend the lead up to 5. 21 points for John Morant. He has 7 so far in this third quarter. Jokic for three. That is off the iron as Jaren Jackson Jr. will grab the rebound. Morant coming around now, dishing it over to Morant. Morant with the bucket. That's 23 for him. 7-point lead now for the Grizz. Hardaway Jr. for three. He nails it. Deficit only to 4 again, but look at that pass. Clark will get the bucket there, taking that nice long pass by John Morant as the Grizzlies up by 6 again. Gordon for three. That is off the iron, and that's going to go out of bounds, and Grizzlies will get possession. Got some substitutions being made on both sides. Gordon's going to take a seat, I know for sure, for the Nugs. Jaren Jackson Jr. inbounding it over to Morant. Now it's Ty Jerome with it crossing the half-court line. Aldama for the Grizz. Pass it back over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Morant for three. He nails it! It's a 9-point lead for the Grizzlies. As I said, they led by as many as 11 in that first half. It has definitely been a dominant effort by the Grizzlies so far in this third quarter. Strother Dishing it back over to Murray, back over to Jokic, to Brown. Brown is going to go to the line as Zach Edey is called for his first foul. Reminder, everybody that is new to this channel, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. And as I mentioned earlier, as we got a little bit of a break in the action about how my season playthrough goes, is that I play one game for every... At the first time, I did 2 schedule blocks where every team was guaranteed to be shown at least once, where I played one game for every 2 calendar days, maybe more, depending on how it was, especially in schedule block number 2 when we did not have the NBA Cup. So it was sometimes maybe 3 or 4 days between calendar days between games. This is schedule block number 3, where I was deciding how to do this for a while. As you see, both shots were made. So it is still random games, but not every team is going to be guaranteed to be shown. I show teams that were either hovering or were hovering or at or above 500 at the time that I scheduled these games. Of course, you know, things do, you can either get hot or cold. Either way, those were set in stone. I'm not flexing any previous games off of my schedule. Strother for 3. That is no good. Edey with the rebound. But this will go up until the All-Star break. We will be doing the All-Star festivities here. There's a miss right there. Brown will get the steal. There's Jokic. Jokic. Layup is good. Look at that on the road. Jokic averaging over 30 points a game on the road. Look at Jalen Wells, though. There's a bucket there, and the lead is up to 7 again. We will do the Rising Stars game. We'll do the 3-point contest and the slam dunk contest, as well as the actual All-Star game. As you see, Wells puts the Grizzlies up by 9 again. Under 2 minutes to play here in the third. 72-63, Grizzlies on top. Brown, he misses that one. Morant will get the rebound. Morant with the layup attempt. That is no good. Jokic will grab the rebound. Bruce Brown with it for the Grizzlies. Now it's Johnson with it. Dishing it back over to Jokic here. 10 on the shot clock. From the free throw line, but no, passes over to Strother. Strother misses it. Jackson Jr. grabbing the rebound. Ty Jerome. Back over to Morant. 1 minute to play in the third quarter. It's a 9-point lead for the Grizzlies. Trying to go back up by double digits, and that's going to be a foul against Strother. Ja Morant going to the line, shooting 2. And he'll make the first one here. Don't forget, everybody, as I mentioned earlier, I am doing a 28-team playoff, FBS playoff of my own for College Football 26 content. As well as I actually did simulations for the 4 college football playoff games, which is part of my season, which has been the bulk of the content so far since the fall. What I did for like regular season simulations, now I'm doing simulations for the games. For the playoff games, Strother for 3. And that's how that 17-0 run started late in the second quarter when they were trailing by 11, was by 3-pointers. Jaren Jackson Jr. And Jaren Jackson Jr. has the Grizzlies up on by double digits once again. Shot clock not turned off as it is ahead of the game clock. So the Grizzlies do have to go one more shot in the third quarter. 10 on the shot clock now. Jokic being guarded by Zach Edey. There he goes. There's a 3-pointer attempt by Brown. Brown with the 3. It's a 7-point game. Morant will get a half-court shot at the buzzer. That will count. Ja Morant with a buzzer beater to end the third quarter. And we are at the end of three. It's 79-69. As we have the State Farm assist of the game. That goes to Ja Morant, who just hit the three-pointer to end the quarter. As we get ready to start the fourth quarter, you see Jaren Jackson Jr. Handed over to Scottie Pippen Jr. now, 17 on the shot clock. Jerome Pippen Jr., Edie Wells, and Jaren Jackson Jr. out on the court for the Grizzlies. You see Bruce Brown with the steal. Back over to Jamal Murray. Jamal Murray with the dunk. And the Nuggets within 8. There's a three-point attempt. That is off the iron. Johnson will get the rebound. Strother has it for the Grizzlies. Bruce Brown coming around with it. Pass it over. There's Murray with it. Coming around. Layup attempt. No good. Jerome with the rebound. Over a minute into the fourth quarter. 79-71. Grizzlies on top. This game coming to you from the FedEx Forum in Memphis, Tennessee. If you're enjoying what you're watching right now, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button. As you see Jaren Jackson Jr. with the miss, as Johnson will have the rebound. Now it's Jamal Murray with it for the Nuggets. Jamal Murray coming around. Layup attempt. That is good. Jamal Murray only 8 points in this game. He has been very cold. I see Scottie Pippen Jr. Passing it back over to Jackson Jr. Jaren Jackson Jr. will get the shot up. That is off the iron. Johnson will get the rebound. Bruce Brown has it for the Nuggets. Over to Jamal Murray, 14 on the shot clock. He loses it. Scottie Pippen Jr. with the steal. Dishing it over to Wells, and Jalen Wells with a slam dunk. Grizzlies extend the lead back up to 8. See, Jamal Murray has it. So we got under 9.5 to play in the fourth. Jamal Murray, jumper. That is off the iron. Scottie Pippen Jr. with the rebound. And now we got Scottie Pippen Jr. There is no good there. There's Murray with the rebound. Jamal Murray coming around. Murray with the dunk. He has 6 points in this fourth quarter. He's starting to heat up a little bit, but he's been shooting very poorly here. We got a timeout by the Grizzlies. 8:51 to play in the fourth. This is a 6-point Grizzlies lead. We'll be back. You're watching NBA 2K on Vito Productions. And we are back here in Memphis. 6-point lead for the Grizzlies. As we had some substitutions being made on both sides as we see Scottie Pippen Jr. actually being moved to another position. I think Aldama is coming back into the game for the Grizz. Ty Jerome with it for the Grizzlies right now. Off the inbound, Scottie Pippen Jr. Ja Morant for 3. Off the iron. Jokic will get the rebound. Oh, looks like somebody from the Grizzlies is limping. Jokic for 3. That is off the iron, and we have another timeout by the Grizzlies, and it looks like that might be an injury timeout. We're going to take another timeout as well. 8:34 to play in the fourth. You're watching NBA 2K on Vito Productions. And we are back here in Memphis here. Still a 6-point game for the Grizzlies, or lead for the Grizzlies here with 8:34 to play in the fourth quarter. Looked like that might have been an injury timeout here, as we're going to be interested. I want to see how that turns out. Of course, you know NBA 2K will, with their logic, no matter what, you'll see the injury icon. That player will still be playing in the game for the rest of the day, but we'll go over the injury report at the end of the game, and there's a 3. I think that's Ty Jerome with the 3, and it's a 9-point lead for the Grizzlies again. Jamal Murray with it. Has 6 of his 10 points here in the fourth quarter. Gets that one off. That's no good. He's still continuing his poor shooting performance in this game. This has not been his night. Jerome just had a 3-point earlier. Now he goes back down with a 2-point bucket, and the Grizzlies match their largest lead at 11. There's Jokic. Nikola Jokic, though, ends that little drought there. 7.5 to play here in the fourth. A 9-point lead for the Grizzlies. Morant. 9 on the shot clock. Pass it back over to Ty Jerome here. 5 on the shot clock. Jerome for 3. No good. Jokic with the rebound. There's Murray with the layup. He now has 12 in this game. 8 of them here in the fourth. Willie Christian Jackson had the assist there for the Nuggets. 7-point lead for the Grizzlies. Scottie Pippen Jr. has it. Pippen Jr. for 3. That's off the iron. Bruce Brown will get the rebound. Back over to Jokic. Jokic over to Bruce Brown. Murray. Coming around. Murray for 3. He nails it! And the Nuggets within 4. That's 15 for Jamal Murray. 11 of those have come here in this fourth quarter. Over Landell, and Landell with the dunk. 6-point lead again for the Grizzlies. See Jamal Murray as we are over the halfway point of the fourth quarter. Murray coming through. Murray, that is no good. Ty Jerome will grab the rebound here. 5:40 to play here in the fourth. John Morant dishing it over to Jerome, and Jerome with the bucket. And the Grizzlies extend the lead back up to 8. And you see Aaron Gordon waiting to get back into the game for the Nuggets. Nuggets have been making a run, but every time they make a run to get to within a certain point, the Grizzlies have been able to answer back. Jokic misses it. Landell will grab the rebound. Ty Jerome has it for the Grizzlies here. Back over to Ja. Ja coming around. Dishing it back over to Scottie Pippen Jr. 10 on the shot clock. Pippen Jr. for 3. That is off the iron. Jokic grabbing the rebound. Jamal Murray with it. As I said, he's been a little bit better here in the fourth quarter, but it doesn't compensate from the poor shooting effort he has had all game. There's a shot. That is off the iron. Landell grabbing the rebound. Morant. See Morant coming around, and count it! Bruce Brown with the call for the foul there. He's going to go to the line. Morant's going to go to the line, shooting 1, as Aldama is coming back into the game. Substitutions for both teams. Morant with the buckets, an 11-point lead again. The Grizzlies had it to within 4, but now it's back up to 11 again. Matches the largest lead for the Grizzlies. I said the Nuggets cut it to within 4, but then the Grizzlies, as I said, any answer that the Nuggets fight, the Grizzlies were able to fight, were able to answer back. Morant. They shoot it back over to Brandon Clark, back to Caldwell Pope. KCP, no good. Under 4 minutes to play here in the fourth. Gordon with the layup. Jamal Murray has the assist there. We will announce the next game coming up. As you see, Zach Edey, strained right hip, out 4 to 6 weeks. That's why Landell is into the game. That's why Landell was in the game. Clark with it. Coming around. Clark. And the lead back up to 11 for the Grizzlies. There we go for Jokic. Murray for three. He nails it. Jamal Murray, as I said, he's heating up in the fourth quarter. He has 18. 14 of those have came in the fourth. As you see Clark with the layup. And the Grizzlies on back up by double digits again. 10-point lead for the Grizz. 2:40 to play here. Murray for three. Off the iron. Clark will get the rebound as the Grizzlies will have it. KCP for the Grizzlies. Back over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Back to John Morant. Morant, deep three, no good. Jokic will get the rebound. Hardaway Jr. has it. This is back over to Murray. Murray with the bucket, no good. And the shot up is no good. KCP has it. Approaching the game's final 2 minutes. 97-87, Grizzlies on top. And you see Morant. There's the bucket, and that's the largest lead of the game for the Grizzlies now. Jamal Murray crossing the timeline. They need to get shots going early here. Jokic back to Watson. Watson for three. Off the iron. Jokic with the offensive rebound, and that's what you should be doing in this situation when you need points. Just take the higher percentage shot and don't pass it up for a fancy three. 10-point lead. The Grizzlies can take time if they want. As Morant is going to go to the foul. That's a blocking foul and count it, by the way. Say that he was in the act of shooting, they're going to count it. It's a three-point opportunity for a three-point play as you see Morant getting the MVP chance. Don't know if he will be in line for MVP, but definitely was MVP in this game, I'll tell you that. Lead up to 13 for the Grizzlies here. Under a minute and a half to play. They got to get some desperation shots. That's over to Jokic. They cannot take their time. Jokic passes over to Watson. To Hardaway Jr. for three. That is off the iron. KCP with the rebound. Grizz going the other way. Caldwell Pope over to Jaren Jackson Jr. Jackson Jr. There's the bucket. It's a 15-point lead, and I think this game could be out of reach now. And I say could. Look at Jamal Murray here, 8 on the shot clock. What are they doing? They are not taking any quick shots here. Hardaway Jr. for three. That is off the iron. Jackson with the rebound. See Morant with it. I would, if I was the Grizzlies, just take the shot. Just let the shot clock run down. Morant. That is no good. Shot clock turned off. And that is really academic right now. I see Hardaway Jr. for three. He drains it. The Grizzlies, all they have to do is head to the half-court line. They will pass it, and that will do it. The Grizzlies, a very dominant second half. Dominant for most of the game. They will walk away with a 104-92 win over the Denver Nuggets. They will improve to 20-24, and the Nuggets will fall to 31-16. But stay tuned, everybody. We are not done yet. And we are looking at the player statistics for this game. We start off with the victorious Memphis Grizzlies, led by the player of the game, John Morant, 39 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. Jaren Jackson Jr., 27 points, 8 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. Brandon Clark, 14 points, 7 rebounds, 1 steal. And then we got Ty Jerome with 7 points, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. Jalen Wells with 6 points, 1 rebound. Then we got Scottie Pippen Jr. only had 4 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, and a steal. But I think I've called his name a lot in this game. Santi Aldama, 3.6 rebounds, 3 assists. Followed by Zach Edey, who left the game, and we know why. He has a strained hip. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. We'll officially confirm that, actually, on the injury report. You see Edey, 2 points, 3 rebounds. Jock Landale, who came in for a few minutes to replace Edey, 2 points, 2 rebounds. KCP had no points, but he did have 4 rebounds and 5 assists. G.G. Jackson actually came into the game for 2 minutes, but did not record any stats. Then you got John Conchar, Vince Williams Jr., Olivier Maxence Prosper, Cedric Howard. They did not play for the Grizzlies. And now for the Denver Nuggets. They were led by Tim Hardaway Jr., 23 points, 4 rebounds, 1 assist and a block. Jamal Murray, 18 points, 4 rebounds, 6 assists. You see there, he went 8 of 27 from the field. Nikola Jokic, 18 points, 20 rebounds, 7 assists, 1 steal. Close to a 2020 game for him. Aaron Gordon, 13 points, 4 rebounds. Bruce Brown had 8 points, 1 rebound, 3 assists, and 3 steals. Jonas Valanciunas, 4 points, 4 rebounds. Julian Strawther, only 3 points and a steal. Jalen Pickett, 3 points. Peyton Watson had 2 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. Cameron Johnson. Oh, it was Cameron Johnson. I thought it was Christian Johnson. That's my fault there. But Cameron Johnson only had 6 rebounds and 2 assists. Tamar Bates actually played in the game for 3 minutes. Curtis Jones. You have Deron Holmes. I mean, they had no stats. Hunter Tyson played in the game. And Zeke Nnaji was the only player who did not play for the Denver Nuggets in this game. And that will do it for your player statistics for this game. Now time for the post-game ticker brought to you by 2K Sports. And we start off with Sunday, January 25th, 2026. We start off in Detroit, where the Sacramento Kings will light the beam. They defeat the Pistons 114-110. The game that we just watched, the Grizzlies get their 20th win of the season, winning 104-92 over the Nuggets. The Bucks 118-102 winners over the Dallas Mavericks. Let's see here. The Oklahoma City Thunder 129-122 winners over the Toronto Raptors. The Pelicans upset the Spurs 129-117. Suns 114, Heat 112. Clippers 99 and the Nets 89. We have news between them and the Chicago Bulls coming up a little bit later in the news and notes section. For the games on Monday, January 26, 2026. We have the Hornets 146-118 winners over the Philadelphia 76ers. The Magic 23-22 on the season. They defeat the Cavaliers 125-124. The Hawks over the Pacers 136-97. The Trailblazers 110. Celtics 102. Ooh, this has been a long year in Boston, I'll tell you that right now. The Bulls upset the Lakers 112-107. The Rockets 140-130 winners over the Memphis Grizzlies. The Timberwolves get back on the winning track. They went 134-118 over the Golden State Warriors. Games on Tuesday, January 26, 2026. We got the Trailblazers over the Wizards 126-98. The Knicks 130, the Kings 103. The Thunder 111, the Pelicans 102. The Bucks 125, the 76ers 122. The Pistons 109, Nuggets 108. Suns 135-113 winners over the Brooklyn Nets. And in Salt Lake City, the Clippers all over the Jazz 123-93, sending the Jazz to a league worst 5-42. And that is your post-game ticker. If your team won, congratulations. If not, there's always tomorrow. Now, time for us to look at the injuries after the games played on January 27, 2026. We start off with the Philadelphia 76ers here. They, of course, we knew about Maxey and McClain being out, but now it's Andre Drummond out for the 76ers, out for a week to 2 weeks. Bucks are fully healthy, so are the Bulls. The Cavaliers without Allen Mitchell or Struss, and that's going to be huge for them, as that's going to be some extended amount of time between all three players. Jason Tatum, as I said, still out for the Celtics, out 1 to 2 months. I don't know if he should come back with how Celtics are right now. Brook Lopez still out for the Clippers. As I mentioned earlier, Zach Edey out 4 to 6 weeks with a strained right hip. The Hawks are fully healthy. The Heat, as I mentioned, Rozier suspension, and we mentioned about Powell and Larson being out. Hornets are fully healthy. Jazz are fully healthy. They just flat out suck. The Kings are without Sabonis, Murray, and Levine. OG Anunoby still out for the Knicks. Lakers are now fully healthy. Magic are fully healthy. The Mavericks are fully healthy. The Nets, Noah Clowney out, as well as Porter Jr. and Mann. Christian Braun did not play in the game, but he is day-to-day. Tyrese Halliburton, we know about his injury. The Pels are fully healthy. We knew about LeVert and Ivy, but now Jalen Duren is day-to-day with a sore left hand. The Raptors are now fully healthy. The Rockets still without Van Fleet. Spurs without Keldon Johnson. Suns are fully healthy. Lugan Dort has now been added to the injury list for the Oklahoma City Thunder, as well as Jalen Williams. Julius Randle and Terrence Shannon Jr. still out for the T-Wolves. Lillard is out. We knew about that injury, but Kamara is now day-to-day for the Grizzlies. We knew about Brandon Przimski being out, but now Trace Jackson Davis, I should say, is day-to-day for the Warriors. Keyshawn George is still day-to-day with his injury, but Cam Whitmore, again, he's out with a twisted left knee. He just came back from injury as well. In his first game back, he's back on the injured list again. Both of them are day-to-day. And that is your injury report. And we have a trade to announce, actually. As I mentioned, I was trying to find a suitor for Chris Paul, and the Bulls were able to take Chris Paul and Nicholas Batum contract away, and the Bulls will trade Jevon Carter and Julian Phillips in exchange. So the Clippers and the Bulls have made a trade. Clippers do trade Chris Paul, as we knew Chris Paul was parting ways with the Clippers in real life, but I wanted to see if I can get a trade for him. And the seldomly lose Nicholas Batum to the Chicago Bulls in exchange for Jevon Carter and Julian Phillips. All right. As I mentioned in the previous couple of videos, that we are taking a hiatus again for this week for my College Football 26 project for my 28-team college football FBS playoff. We're starting the second round games for those. Look at my community tab for the schedule and the matches and the times and dates for those. I also will have the link to my to the entire playlist if you want to watch the selection show and the first round games to see how everything turned out and why we got to this point. But when we get back, approximately December 29th for this series resuming, we have the San Antonio Spurs at the Houston Rockets. This is going to be I think this will be a real fun game on paper. As I mentioned, I had these already predetermined. We're going to see some teams multiple times in schedule block number 3, as this is going to lead us into the All-Star break. The calendar date will be Wednesday. The calendar date for this particular game will be Wednesday, January 28th, 2026, just to be clear, as we are almost at the end of the month of January. I think before New Year, I think New Year's Eve, we will have, if I keep up on this, New Year's Eve will be the January 2026, month review to go over the standing statistics, awards and all that stuff. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you did, please leave a like, comment, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new to this channel. And hit the bell icon to receive notifications when these videos do drop. And with that, bidding you guys a farewell. Reminding you guys the final score of this game. The Memphis Grizzlies defeat the Denver Nuggets 104-92. I am Vinny from V-Dub Productions, and I am signing off.